morning. You got here just in time. So let's get busy.
Common sense, no prescription required.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win.
Got a ton of stuff this morning. A lot of stuff going on.
This is the Greg Belfrage Show.
Good morning, my friend. The marketplace of ideas is open. Welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show, Friday, April 11th today. Now, the big story is this helicopter crash over the Hudson River, leaving at least 6 people dead. This is just sad story. This was a helicopter that was carrying a family, 2 adults, 3 children, and they were reportedly from Spain. They crashed into the Hudson yesterday afternoon, and the 6th death was that of the helicopter pilot. And there was footage of this. The president even commenting on it, on the footage, and I didn't bring myself to watch it. The rotor and everything just coming off of this thing and just plummeting down. Wow. So this is a huge story. It's, again, reports, some of the reports I'm seeing, they were saying it's uncertain, at least at this point, whether the helicopter was being operated for tourism purposes or whether it was privately owned. So the cause of the crash, we'll have to wait and see. But pretty incredible. Again, 6 people dead, including 3 children, after this helicopter plummeted into the Hudson River. New York Post has got a story this morning. The owner of the New York Helicopter Tour Company said that the helicopter was en route back to base to refuel when it crashed. He says the pilot of the aircraft had been radioed about needing more fuel minutes before it went into the water. So he was saying he was landing, he needed fuel. It should have taken him about 3 minutes to arrive. 20 minutes later, he wasn't there. And unfortunately, just a horrible story. So the passengers have been identified as a family from Spain, and they were visiting New York on vacation. Just heartbreaking. So of the 5, you got the 2 parents and then 3 children. That's a big story this morning. Also, you have the SAVE Act, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, clearing the House of Representatives yesterday. So the House voted in favor of the SAVE Act. What does the SAVE Act requires? You got to show proof of citizenship in order to vote in federal elections. And it passed pretty handily. Democrats obviously were opposed to it, but I think there were 4 Democrats that voted along with Republicans, 220 to 208. So you had all of the Republicans present voted in favor of the SAVE Act, 4 Democrats who joined the Republicans. And it's because it's common sense. I mean, this is the kind of, why are we having to debate this? Why do we have people that are opposed to this? Why should you have to show proof, or why is it somehow a problem that you're asking folks to show their citizenship when they go to vote? So Chip Roy talking about it, and he said, despite the ridiculous attacks and purposeful misinformation spread about the bill, I'm pleased to see that the House of Representatives once again passed the SAVE Act on a bipartisan basis to ensure only U.S. citizens vote in federal elections, he said. And this is one of those things that's just common sense to so many of us. Absolutely. and why we've got Democrats who just refuse to support that is, for me, I look at that again. It is a big indicator of problems in the Democrat Party, and there are a lot of them. A lot of problems in the Democrat Party. That's one of them, that they can't bring themselves to support something like that. That is just common sense, I think, Main Street, logic. Also, the president talking about the future of Doge. Elon Musk, you got Democrats who are up in arms that they are just desperate to see Elon Musk out of there. They want Elon Musk. He must leave by May 30th. They're just raging over Elon Musk at the Department of Government Efficiency. And I don't know that they're feeling any better this morning because the president says he wants to keep Doge staffers. Now, he's not talking about Elon Musk. Elon Musk, temporary government employee, limited to 130 days that he can work. Elon Musk has already said he is going to leave when he's concluded after the 130 days. Trump has talked about it, saying he's got companies to run. So he's made it pretty clear that Elon Musk will be done as of May 30th, but the Democrats are just raging over this. You had 77 Democrat members of Congress reminding the president, really, first of all, these members of Congress really think the president needs any reminders in regard to this. It's just incredible. So they're sending a letter to the president. But the president's saying he wants to keep, other than Elon Musk now, because the Department of Government Efficiency, he wants to keep it going. And he says he wants to keep Doge staffers on for the long haul, the president said. President Trump held a cabinet meeting yesterday. A lot of this was televised, went on for quite a period of time. Elon Musk was there, even though he is not a member of the cabinet, but he was talking about what was going on he was giving the cabinet updates on Doge. And the president said, your people, he's talking about the Doge team. He said, your people are fantastic. In fact, hopefully they'll stay around for the long haul, the president said. We'd like to keep as many as we can. And that has caught my attention. Do you think the Doge should continue? You want to see the work of Doge continue? So we'll talk about that. So House Democrats sending a letter to the president demanding that, he confirmed that Elon Musk is stepping down. Elon Musk has said so himself. You've not seen the interviews? They've been out there. He's been very clear. He's been talking about it. The thing about Elon Musk is he's talking. This is what I find amazing about this administration. They're not trying to hide everything. They're not, hey, shh, gotta keep that down. We can't talk about that. Which was pretty much the state of the State of the Union during the Biden administration. We're not going to talk about it. At Karine Jean-Pierre at the Ministry of Truth, who would storming off stage rather than rather than answer questions, she would storm off the stage in a huff. Happened a number of different times. And you look at what's going on in this administration, wow, and the openness and the transparency, and it's just such a night and day difference. And here are the Democrats who are stuck on stupid. They're just stuck on stupid. It's the same thing over. So the Department of Government Efficiency. Also, the question of daylight saving time has come up again. This is not me. This is not me bringing it up. And This is a story from Politico. It's an issue that has bipartisan support, but also fierce bipartisan opposition. Senators are wading into the thorny issue of whether to lock the clock, that is, end the practice of changing the time twice a year to account for the shifting seasons. And so then it goes on with this is coming up on the Senate Commerce Committee. The chairman of that committee is Ted Cruz. He said there's a general consensus among his colleagues that Americans should stop changing the clocks, he said. But there isn't an agreement on which standard to use. In other words, do you go on just regular standard time, or do you go on permanent daylight saving time? I don't care. I really don't care. This is where the difference of opinion is at. And so we may have to talk about this morning. I'm really opposed to these time changes. I don't like them. I don't like them personally. I don't like them professionally. They cause problems. I just don't like them. They're a major inconvenience. That's just me now speaking as an individual. I hate them. I just want them to end. Why is the government deciding? I mean, the whole idea that the federal government started getting involved in this in the first place is outrageous. Why is the government saying, "Oh, we're turning you"? And I think the whole thing has been a sham from the get-go. Well, we're going to, it's going to save oil and, going to save energy. We're going to have more daylight. It is like, has any of that been proven? I don't think any of that has ever been proven. Stop messing with my clock. Knock it off. I just feel really strongly about that one. All right. Other big stories. We got a lot of stuff this morning, and we'll chat about as much of this as we can today. Also, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries telling the reporters yesterday that Democrats believe that. Are you ready for this? You better grab something solid, because you might feel like the world's turning upside down here. Hakeem Jeffries says, yeah, the country needs to secure the border. Make it safe and strong. That's Hakeem Jeffries for you. This guy is, how irrelevant is Hakeem Jeffries? Minority Leader in the House. Every time, this guy, he said, we believe that we need to secure the border. Make sure that it is safe and strong. Really? Did you do that under Joe Biden? Did you? Is that what the Biden administration was busy doing? What were you doing, Hakeem? Oh, these people are laughable. They think you have no memory. He says the rule of law consistent with America as a country, as a nation of laws, is fully and completely implemented at the border. We believe we have, and here it comes. Here it comes. A broken immigration system. We need to fix it in a comprehensive and in a bipartisan way. Oh, it's the same old. Democrats are stuck on stupid, man. When on this issue, broken immigration system, it's not broken. It's not broken. We've got a solid series of laws in regard to immigration. You just don't like them. So you keep telling us ad nauseum that the system is broken because you just don't like the laws that America has passed. And that's really the issue. So for all of this conversation about the immigration system being broken, no, it's not. Laws are pretty clear. And it's also been very clear that Democrats don't think much of the rule of law. They're concerned more about getting potential people into the country to vote Democrat. Yeah, we got to get people into the country to vote Democrat. It's just the same old thing. Also, there was a story, and I shared this yesterday on the 4th hour. For those of you who follow the 4th hour every day at 9:30 on YouTube, and a shout out to you, all of you on YouTube this morning, and Facebook, that Doge has discovered fraudulent unemployment claims. And here's what they posted yesterday. An initial survey of unemployment insurance claims since 2020 revealed the following. 24,500 people over 115 years old claimed $59 million in benefits. 28,000 people between 1 and 5 years old claimed $254 million in benefits. And then they say 9,700 people with birth dates over 15 years in the future also claimed. Do you understand that? You got nearly 10,000 people who have not even been born yet, according to the birth dates that were provided. They've not even been born yet, and they are claiming unemployment benefits. Wow. Also, I saw that this is from the Post Millennial. The president's Art of the Deal skyrocketed on Amazon's bestseller book list after he put the 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs. So now keep in mind, when did he write Art of the Deal? I mean, this is a book from, I forget when was it the 90s that he wrote this? It's quite a period of time. The Art of the Deal hit the number 4 spot on Amazon's bestseller list after the pause to the tariffs came on Wednesday, leading to a rally in the stock market. Also, there is a clip of CNN that has gone viral. You may have heard Clay and Buck talking about this yesterday on their program, that they're holding their CNN. They were trying to get things together, talking about tariffs, and this Senator Bernie Sanders was being interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and he tosses the mic to a woman in the audience and says, "I want to introduce Grace Thomas. She's a local civil rights attorney. She's a Democrat." And she then says, wags a finger at him and says, it's they, them pronouns, actually. They, them. He called her she. Can't do that. They, them. And so here's Anderson Cooper caught right in the midst of CNN. Right on CNN. So and I don't have this story in front of me. Maybe it's in my stack of trending stories. You see the White House saying that they're not going to take questions from those who are listing their pronouns. And I saw that debated yesterday. I was up in the studio doing some work yesterday, and Outnumbered was on the Fox News channel. And I caught that they were talking about this. So I turned up the volume, and I was mesmerized by the conversation, to be honest with you, debating about the they them pronouns and whether referring to, and I'm like, are you've got to be kidding me, right? Or please tell me we're joking here. No, the debating it, and it came out actually pretty forcefully, saying, what? Seriously, we are not, we are not playing this game, and that they're saying one way around that, you just call people by name. Don't say she, don't say he, don't just call them by name, and you get around all of that issue. And I thought, well, that's interesting from a professional point of view. You're interviewing somebody, just call them by name and you avoid the whole thing. But I thought, why is there a controversy over this in the first place? That story's all over. The White House is saying that they're not going to respond to reporters who use they them on their and are submitting questions. And that's a look at the big stories this morning. And forgive me, I laugh because this stuff is just outrageous, man. 627 this hour of the Greg Belfrage Show, brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
Weeknights 5 to 8. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is sponsored by Tiny.
Just another day in bizarro world, my friends.
When your home has a plumbing or air conditioning emergency, call the
I don't laugh because it's funny. I laugh because that's my way of keeping my sanity. It's like when folks are throwing all this ridiculous stuff at you, you can either get all shook up or you can just laugh and roll with the punches.
The best way to describe Farmers Union is
Okay.
their family. South Dakota Farmers Union is run.
Good morning to all of you, by the way.
People can really get involved in and go somewhere with it and get things accomplished.
It put me in places that I
Yeah, Steve, I like your comment about Hakeem Jeffries.
Join us in having your voice be heard.
Join us in protecting family farms and ranches. Join the South Dakota Farmers Union.
Yeah, they're saying the same act. Women won't be able to vote, and it's the usual Democrat hysteria and ridiculous arguments.
Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers. I didn't know that I could get something
All right.
that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just click or bring up your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Mostly sunny skies, mid-60s today in the Sioux Falls area with a light wind. For tonight, partly cloudy skies, low in the low 40s. Tomorrow,
76 tomorrow. Wow.
70s on Sunday, slight chance of a shower and becoming.
And in Sioux Falls at 6:30, fair skies, 29 currently at Kello. We're going to check in with Joe Bowman in the Kello.com News Center. Woman is dead following a traffic accident in Sioux Falls. Details coming up.
The tariff tit for tat with China continues. China this morning is announcing a 125% tariff on U.S. imports. This is up from the 84% it announced on Wednesday and now matches the 125% additional reciprocal tariffs the U.S. imposed on China this week. That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. Now, on top of that, 125% tariff is another 20% for China's role in fentanyl production, bringing their total tariff rate to 145%. And President Trump's cabinet met yesterday, a day after walking back tariffs on other countries. At the meeting, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pledged to get to the bottom of what causes autism by the end of the summer.
There's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
The CDC says about 1 in 36 kids were diagnosed with autism in 2020. America's listening to Fox News.
Kello News Time, 6:31. I'm Joe Bowman in the Kello.com News Center. One woman is dead following a violent traffic accident in Sioux Falls. Yesterday morning near East Rice and Timberline, near the Veterans Parkway, an SUV crossed over into oncoming traffic and collided with a mid-sized car. A passenger in the car died at the scene. Both drivers were hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Sioux Falls Police continues to investigate the crash. No delay and no dismissal, at least not yet. The South Dakota Public Utilities Commission heard a request from Summit Carbon Solutions to indefinitely delay its application for a construction permit in the state. They requested the delay after a passage of a new law that removes the option of using eminent domain to build on private land. Commissioner Christy Fegan moved to deny that request and is asking the company to present its plan for a path forward at the next commission meeting.
So I kept on asking the applicant questions of what's their plan, and they really couldn't come up with anything. And so I can't imagine suspending this docket without a plan.
The commission approved that motion and also voted against a motion by pipeline opponents to deny Summit's overall permit application. The commission will take up the issue again in less than 2 weeks. Former South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem says the number of illegal immigrants making it into the United States is at record lows. In a cabinet meeting yesterday at the White House, Secretary of Homeland Security Noem reported to President Trump that for the second month in a row, the administration has broken the record for the lowest number of encounters at the border in the nation's history. Folks attending this year's Sturgis Motorcycle Rally will notice some changes. The annual motorcycle event is dealing with budget restraints. Organizers are reducing the number of city-sponsored events from 24 down to 5. They say the cutbacks are not expected to impact the overall experience of the iconic rally. From the Kello.com News Center, I'm Joe Bowman.
The news never stops. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Weather brought to you by Infinity Sedation Dentistry, Sioux Falls. They fix your teeth while you sleep.
Mostly sunny skies and very mild today. Our high temperature at 65, south winds only 5 miles per hour. For tonight, low temperature at 42, partly cloudy skies. And then tomorrow's high rebounding to 76 with a south wind at 20 to 40. More wind from the northwest on Sunday, high in the low 70s. From the Storm Center at Kettleland TV, I'm Brian Karstens.
Where you learn to listen and listen to learn. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
If you include all the sales taxes, Apple's latest top-of-the-line iPhone will cost you more than $1,000. Yeah, a lot of money. And no, it has nothing to do with tariffs. I'm Kim Commando for Total AV, the award-winning antivirus software for just $19 right now at protectwithkim.com. 90% of Apple's iPhones are made in China, and unless things change fast, China will be hit with the highest tariffs, I think somewhere greater than 100%. So when the tariffs hit, a top-of-the-line iPhone could cost you more than $2,000. Apple's trying to get ahead by pulling some of the new iPhones out of India to boost American inventory. Apple's also greatly increasing production in China to get more phones into America as soon as possible. But Apple can only shuffle inventory around for so long before the inevitable tariff price increases hit. My best advice is for anyone who really needs an upgrade, don't wait. Now's the time. Join 650,000 people who start their day with my free newsletter. You're just going to love it. Sign up at getkim.com. Cybercrime is on the rise, and hackers are getting smarter every day. From phishing scams to ransomware attacks, criminals are after your devices and your money. So how do you fight back? One of the best defenses is solid antivirus software. Blocks suspicious websites and stops hackers before they can do any damage. A healthy dose of skepticism when opening emails or clicking links doesn't hurt either. But for the antivirus help you need, I trust and recommend Total AV. They update you in real time, keeping you protected from the latest threats. Go to protectwithkim.com now and get total AV for just $19 for the first year. It covers up to 5 devices, including Windows, Macs, and smartphones. That's protectwithkim.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Your security matters. Get protected now. Go to protectwithkim.com for my exclusive deal with total AV. Just $19 for the first year. That's protectwithkim.com. Protectwithkim.com. Protectwithkim.com.
The Kim Commando Show, live Saturday mornings at 9. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is sponsored by Tires, with 2 locations to make sure you have the proper traction this winter.
Remembering a younger day, no deadlines and no bills to pay. We laugh and sing and run and play, casting every care away. Now we're stressed with jobs and such, kids and sports, it's all too much. But at the end of a long, hard day, we'll dream our cares away. Sleeping on our comfort tonight.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is nice, because you can just keep doing you. So keep on using that broken phone charger because it occasionally works. Keep quoting something you heard on the podcast as your own. Keep ignoring your sister's texts while you drive and after. And when baggage claim says, have a great trip, keep on saying, you too. And keep driving safely. You could save with Snapshot from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California from all agencies. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266. 800-334-2266.
49th Street Liquor is your go-to for great drinks, even better deals. You'll find them at the corner of 49th Street and Minnesota Avenue. And 49th Street Liquor has a huge variety of non-alcoholic THC-infused beverages. Those are becoming more popular all the time. You'll find a pretty good variety of them. They're on sale this month at 49th Street Liquor. So many things to love. It's really easy to get in and out. You're steps away from the door when you park. They've got everything, all your favorites. Beer, wine, spirits. They, as well as a number of other things. Their humidor is full of fine cigars. There are Dakota Butcher products that are there. So if you're looking for something special for a Friday night, you can stop at 49th Street Liquor and pick up your favorite drinks, and then also some fresh meat, steaks, pickled products. They have a variety of different things for you to choose from. You'll find it all there. So if you've got any kind of backyard grilling, especially with the nice weekend weather coming up, you're going to be out grilling, stop at 49th Street Liquor. They've got all of that and much, much more. Your happy hour starts at the new 49th Street Liquor at 49th in Minnesota. Cheers to good times and great drinks.
Entertaining talk. News when it happens.
That's what you'll always get on Kello Radio, and you can even get more at Kello.com.
In-depth stories, podcasts, and more.
For more of South Dakota, go to Kello.com. Kello News Talk.
20 minutes before 7, fair skies, 29. Good morning, my friend. Welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show. This hour brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
What's trending now?
Add them on Facebook.
Let the tweeting begin. The hashtag does that. News and views from Belf's News Gallery.
Well, a helicopter that was touring New York City crashed into the Hudson River and sadly killed all 6 people on board. So ABC News saying the chopper carrying a family in addition to the pilot And the family were from Spain. It was a family traveling together to New York City, and it was a tourist helicopter. And unfortunately, all of them were killed. So we're going to be hearing more details about what it was that led to the crash of the helicopter. And there's video that shows the chopper just plunging into the water without a tail rotor or a main rotor blade. Officials say it hit the water inverted. Wow. That's really a troubling, sad sight. Also, several U.S. lawmakers, 2 former Gaza hostages were aboard an aircraft awaiting takeoff at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport yesterday when another plane bumped into their wing. And Representative Nick Lalata of New York said on X, nobody was injured. And he said, serving in Congress has come with some once-in-a-lifetime experiences, like just now, while stationary on the runway, another plane just bumped into our wing. Wow. Fortunately, nobody hurt there. Also, the president's been talking a lot about tariffs, and he met with his cabinet yesterday. A lot of that was televised. And as the president convened the cabinet meeting, he said, we think we're in very good shape. Remember, the markets have been in a lot of turmoil this week, but the president saying, we think we're in good shape. We think we're doing very well. Again, there will be a transition cost, transition problems, but in the end, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So the markets tumbled again yesterday, because what happens next, I guess, Wall Street's always worried. I just couldn't do that. Also, House Republicans have passed a bill that will require voters to have proof of citizenship in order to vote in federal elections. That story's trending this morning. It's the SAVE Act, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility, and passed by, yet every Republican voted for it, 4 Democrats who voted for it, and the rest opposed. And it is meant to prevent those who are not citizens from voting. And Democrats are again on the record as supporting non-citizens voting. The White I saw this yesterday as I was on the air. Adam Schiff calling for an insider trading investigation into the president and these tariffs and what's going on. So they want an investigation and political insider trading. And Schiff said, I'm going to do my best to find out as to whether there was insider trading. Family meme coins and all the rest of it are not beyond insider trading or enriching themselves. I hope to find out soon. So the White House slamming Democrats. And a White House spokesman said, it's the responsibility of the president to reassure the markets and Americans about their economic security in the face of nonstop media fear-mongering. Democrats railed against China's cheating for decades. Now they're playing partisan games instead of celebrating the president's action to finally corner China. Yeah, it's... when Adam Schiff is your poster boy for that kind of tells you all you need to know. The president and I mentioned this to you yesterday. The story is trending this morning. President saying he's going to make America's showers great again. So he is, there have been federal rules, and this goes back to Barack Obama when he was president. And now Donald Trump wants to rescind a change that was introduced by Barack Obama that restricted multi-nozzle showers from discharging over 2.5 gallons of water per minute overall. And Trump saying the other day, this radical green agenda has made life worse for Americans. And the president criticized the ridiculous amount of time he says it takes to wet his beautiful hair in the shower. A lot of laughter as the president was talking the other day. He's made light of the issue, but also the White House says they will no longer respond to reporters who list their preferred gender pronouns in their email signatures. It is now official White House policy to ignore reporters' emails with pronouns in the signature. You know, this yesterday, Carolyn Levitt said she just doesn't respond to journalists who use pronouns, as it shows they ignore scientific realities and therefore ignore facts. Wow. Tough words from Carolyn Levitt. And she said, as a matter of policy, we do not respond to reporters with pronouns in their bios. Remember, that was a big deal. Everybody was changing their pronouns. Also, House Republicans have adopted a compromise budget resolution yesterday that will allow them to move toward the president's one big beautiful bill spending package, So there was a news conference yesterday from House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Two of them met and spoke together yesterday. It's around 8 o'clock yesterday morning. And I was hoping to bring that to you live. We couldn't do it. We weren't getting audio. But they said that, Republicans, there have been some holdouts on the conservative side. Mike Johnson has gotten them on board. Chip Roy is saying this is the first time we're getting definitive promises from, leadership that we are going to move at reducing the deficit and all of these things. And based on the assurances that they received, both from Speaker Johnson and Senator Thune, they were on board. So it looks like Republicans now are getting their act together and are going to be able to move on the president's one big beautiful bill. That's the federal government spending measure. Tariffs have been very much in the news. The European Union say after the United States had ordered a pause of 90 days in the U.S. tariffs, the European Union saying they would do the same thing, 90-day suspension of their tariffs, and said we want to give negotiations a chance. If negotiations are not satisfactory, our countermeasures will kick in. Inflation rose in March at a slower pace than expected. Still remains well above the Federal Reserve's goal. So it increased at a slower rate in March. Also, Russia yesterday released a U.S.-Russian dual national in exchange for a Russian man who'd been jailed on smuggling charges. And so this dual national was announced by Secretary of State Marco Rubio that she was on her way back to the United States. She was on a plane, and you may have seen photos of her, returning to the United States. She was arrested in Russia in February of last year, convicted of treason because she gave about $50 to a charity that benefited Ukraine. $50 to a charity that had pledged to help Ukraine. And Russia arrested her for that. So much for freedom in Russia, I guess, despite what they say. Kash Patel is been replaced as the acting director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. U.S. Army Secretary Daniel Driscoll taking over that job. So it's one of several law enforcement agencies under the umbrella of the Justice Department. Michelle Obama is trending this morning. She's addressing the rumors of divorce between her and Barack Obama. And I don't know if she did this because people are dying to know, or if she's trying to generate talk regarding her podcast, which has not been, the numbers have not been good. So Michelle Obama is doing a podcast with her brother. I think it's with her brother, isn't it? Doing this podcast with her brother. And so on the podcast, she addressed the divorce rumors earlier this week. And she described this phase of her life as one of her big girl decisions, focusing on peace and purpose over obligations. And that's why she did not, apparently, she's focusing on her own peace and purpose rather than on her obligations to, for instance, attend the funeral of Jimmy Carter after he passed away, to show up to the president's inauguration, so on. She increasingly has not been there. And I thought, Michelle Obama, you could do as you wish. You really can do with I'm really, the only reason I mention it to you is, the story is trending. She said she's prioritizing her needs, making her own choices. And this is all pretty much crap. I mean, come on, let's be serious. It's all pretty much crap. She said that's the thing we as women struggle with, disappointing people. I think a lot of us, you have obligations, and especially when you rise to that level, you've been the first lady of the United States. Your husband was the president of the United States. There are certain obligations that come along with that, and she has apparently decided she doesn't want to participate in those things. Really not anything happening there that changes my opinion of her. I'd say, that's pretty much in line with kind of what pretty much in line of what I expected. I think what she's really personally, I think what she's really doing is trying to gin up numbers for her podcast. I think that's what the whole thing's about. Also, the Masters, of course, coming up. And there'll be 95 golfers set to tee off at Augusta National. And so the Masters getting underway this week. A lot of excitement about that. Also, the basketball world's eyes are squarely on, have been squarely on Dallas. And this is, I think they played on Wednesday. And Luka Doncic returning to Texas. It was the first time the Doncic back in Dallas since the big trade that sent him to the Los Angeles Lakers. And they had a few moments for him, brought a few, they did a video tribute to Doncic, brought a few tears to his eyes. Also, Bridget Brink, the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, is leaving office. So she's stepping down. She's been the ambassador for 3 years. And the State Department spokesperson said that's a long time in a war zone. Frankly, the war has gone on for far too long. The real issue is whether the Russians and Ukrainians are ready to do what's necessary to end this war. So she's stepping down apparently because some pushback from the pushback, I think, against the administration and the pressure that Donald Trump has been putting on Ukraine and Russia to end the war. Also, the largest U.S. seller of eggs, Cal-Maine Foods, reporting record profits, and yet they are in the middle of a DOJ investigation. So they're the largest U.S. egg seller. They reported hundreds of millions of dollars in profits as bird flu sent egg prices then to record highs. And so now they are cooperating with DOJ as the government's looking into price fixing. And that's a look at the stories trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery. News headlines on the way this hour of the Greg Belfrage Show, brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
With the most important viewpoint.
Well, thank you, my friend, for being here back at 9:30 for the fourth hour. And I'll see you then. Otherwise, have a great weekend.